Salvete omnes. Welcome to this video lesson on Capitulum unde vicessimum, chapter 19. In pictura est periculum. In the picture is a peristyle. In peristulo sunt signa. In the peristyle there are statues, statuae. Now, signa is another word for statues, and then columnae, columns, tectum, roof. Maritus et uxor, husband and wife. Julius cum uxore sua in peristulo ambulat. Julius is walking with his wife in the peristyle. Uxoreus est Aemilia. His wife is Aemilia. Julius maritus Aemiliae est. Julius is the husband of Aemilia. Maritus et uxor inter columnas et signa ambulant. The husband and the wife walk between the columns and the statues. Now, signum literally means sign or symbol. It can be like the symbol on a signet ring. It could be a symbol of a legion or a cohort, which is part of a legion. We would call those a standard. And it could be a statue, as we see here, that represents a god or goddess. Tectum peristuli, the roof of the peristyle, altis columnis sostenetur, is supported by high columns. Inter quas tria pulchra signa stant, in between which three beautiful statues stand. Unum Junonis, one of Juno, alterum Cupidnis, another of Cupid, tertium Veneris, a third of Venus. Juno et Venus dei sunt. Juno and Venus are goddesses. Now, Juno, of course, is Hera in Greek, and Venus is Aphrodite. Cupido est filius Veneris et Martis. Cupid is the son of Venus and Mars. Quamquam Venus Martis conjunx non est, although Venus is not the spouse of Mars, sed alterius Dei, but of another god, cui nomen est Vulcanus, for whom the name is Vulcan. Now, Vulcan is known as Hephaestus in Greek, and Mars is Ares. So here it says Cupid, or Eros is his Greek name, is the son of Venus and Mars. That's one version. In another version, Cupid or Eros is actually one of the earliest gods, one of the first ones born, because love had to come into the world before you could have all of these pairings of gods and goddesses. So according to that tradition, which goes back to the Greek poet Hesiod, Eros was one of the earliest gods and thus even predates Venus. All right, and certainly it is common, this myth of Venus or Aphrodite having an affair with Ares/Mars. Vulcan, Hephaestus, her husband, was kind of ugly, and he was lame. He had a kind of a limp and ugly-looking beard and so on. All right, now picking up again in line 8, Venus enim mala uxores, for Venus is a bad wife. Quae alios deos amat, who loves other gods, praeter conjugem suum Vulcanum, besides her spouse Vulcan. Mars et Vulcanus sunt filii Junonis et Jovis. Mars and Vulcan are sons of Juno and Jupiter, or Jove. Now, Jupiter, of course, this would be Zeus in Greek. According to the usual stories, Mars would be a son of both Hera and Zeus, but Vulcan, actually, according to most stories, that is Hephaestus, is the son of Hera all by herself, without Jupiter or Jove or Zeus, whatever one would call him. She did this in response, she had Hephaestus in response to Zeus having Athena by himself without her. Juno enim conjunx Jovis est, for Juno is the spouse of Jupiter or Jove, or again Zeus if we wish. Sed Jupiter malus maritus est, but Jupiter is a bad husband, qui multas alias deas amat, who loves many other goddesses, praeter Junonem conjugem suum, besides Juno his wife, his spouse. Nemo deorum peior maritus est, no one of the gods is a worse husband, quam Jupiter, than Jupiter. Neque ulla dea peior uxor est, nor is any goddess a worse wife, quam Venus, than Venus. Inter omnes deos, among all of the gods, deasque and goddesses, Jupiter pessimus maritus est, Jupiter is the worst husband, ac Venus pessima uxor, and Venus the worst wife. Now, here we have some comparative and superlative adjectives that are irregular. Malus means bad, as we see in the margin. The comparative of that is peior, which means worse. And then the superlative is pessimus, which means worst, with a T. So, malus, again, bad, peior, worse, and then pessimus, worst. Notice in English they're irregular too. We say bad, but we don't say badder and baddest. We say worse and worst. We do get some derivatives from these. A pejorative is a cut down, coming from peior, and a pessimist, of course, somebody who always makes the worst of things. Okay, matres familias, mothers of the household, that is sort of women who are the head of a family. Eunonim invocant, invoke or call on Juno. Now remember her Greek name's Hera. Eanim dea est matronarum, for she is the goddess of matrons, that is, of married women. Venerim et cupidinem invocant amantes, lovers or loving people, amantes, invoke Venus and Cupid. Nam Venus et Cupido, for Venus and Cupid, amorem in cordibus hominum excitare possunt, are able to arouse or to excite, possunt excitare, love, amorem, in the hearts of human beings, in cordibus hominum. Cupido enim est deus amoris, for Cupid is the god of love, et Venus pulcherrima omnium diarum, the most beautiful of all the goddesses, Venus, dea amoris ac pulchritudinis est, is the goddess of love and of beauty. Pulchritudo Veneris, the beauty of Venus, ab omnibus laudatur, is praised by all.